pros and cons, but I'm still nowhere closer to saying what we're not. Do I like?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how's your day? Well, I hope all of you are stay healthy and stay safe during this COVID-19 pandemic. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm gonna make a book review again. If you already watched my previous video, you will probably know about me, but if you don't, well, I have to introduce myself again. My name is Alia Syafira Alif, and you can call me Alia or Alia or whatever you want, as long as that related to my name. I'm a student from State Islamic University Syarifudinullah, Jakarta, and I'm from class 4D, majoring in English Education Department, Faculty of Tarbiyah and Science. So last time I was telling you about a novel, but this time I would like to review one of the textbooks that I've read before as an assignment for my extensive reading subject, which was taught by Mrs. Nida Krishna. So without further ado, let's get started and keep watching! Okay guys, so today I'm gonna make a textbook review, which is an English workbook. So this is the book that I want to review, Paragraph Writing from Sentence to Paragraph by Dorothy, Zemach and Alia Islam. And I believe that this book is one of my recommend book if you want to learn how to write a paragraph in English. So this book was published on December 1st, 2005 by Macmillan Education, and it consists of 107 pages. And about the author, Dorothy Zemach has taught ESL for over 18 years in Asia, Africa, and the United States. But now she concentrates on writing, editing, and publishing ELT materials and textbooks and conducting teacher training workshops. Her areas of specialization are the teaching of writing, discourse analysis, pragmatics, and material development. She is also a frequent plenary speaker at international conferences and a regular blogger for Teacher Talk at www.azargrammar.com. She has written a textbook on grammar, writing, video, and business English. While Carlos Islam, I don't really got any information about him, but he has written 6 books on Goodreads with having 547 ratings, and this book was Carlos Islam's most popular book. Okay, now let's talk about the book. First, I'm gonna explain the book chapter by chapter, and then after that, I'm gonna show you my review about this book. According to the title, this is a workbook that focuses on writing skill. This book was organized into 12 chapters with additional materials after the 12th chapter and an introduction before the first chapter. This book is designed like the instruction with some illustration and some picture inside it. At the end of every chapter, we have to do a task that includes the material we have learned in the chapter, and then we have to recheck our writing before we hand it over to our teacher. Okay, now I'm gonna explain the chapter of the book. For information, the title of every chapter is based on the theme used in the chapter itself that is related to the material. So first, I'm gonna show you the contents of the chapter. So as you can see, chapter 1, beginning to work. Chapter 2, giving and receiving presents. Chapter 3, a favorite place. Chapter 4, an exceptional person. Chapter 5, trends and facts. Chapter 6, what lies. Chapter 7, explanation and excuses. Chapter 8, problems. Chapter 9, strange stories. Chapter 10, differences. Chapter 11, difficult decision. And the last chapter is chapter 12, fate or choice. So I will begin with the chapter 1, beginning to work. So this chapter introduces us to how to identify and write complete sentences with correct punctuation. It also explains the definition of a sentence and paragraph itself. So in this chapter, we will learn how to start and end sentences. We will understand the common feature of paragraphs such as topic sentence. In this chapter, we also learn to identify paragraph topics, also identifying strong and weak paragraphs. Okay guys, continuing with the second chapter, giving and receiving presents. So in this chapter, we will be able to identify the topic and main ideas. We also learn to practice writing topic sentences and using conjunctions such as and or but to join sentences, and we also learn to use commas in sentences too. Next to the chapter 3, a favorite place. In this chapter, we learn how to develop paragraph with descriptive details. We learn how to use lists to brainstorm ideas and edit the list after brainstorming. We also learn how to combine sentences containing adjective and write about the place as in the title. In the fourth chapter, an exceptional person. We learn how to use word maps to brainstorm ideas. We learn how to write concluding sentence and practice using adjective in a sentence. In this chapter, we also learn when to use capital letters in a sentence and practice describing people using adjective. Next, in the chapter 5, trends and facts. We learn how to review descriptive vocabulary and use free writing to brainstorm ideas. We also learn how to check what a paragraph contains, learn to develop peer feedback skill, and write a paragraph about a trend or fact. One of the tests that I really like is when we have to choose one of the 3 topics given. And then we have to write as much as we can for 5 minutes without stopping. And I like it because it will increase our creativity. And in the chapter 6, White Lies, we learn about identifying opinions and examples in supporting sentences. The interesting part is that in this chapter, we also learn how to use group discussion to brainstorm our ideas. By choosing one of the 3 topics given, and every person in group has their own role, such as one person should write all the opinions that they has been discussed before, then one of them share the opinion with another group in the whole class. We also learn to write a paragraph using our views after that. Moving on to the 7th chapter, or chapter 7 is explanation and excuses. And in this chapter, we learn about developing paragraph that explain cause and effect or result, and learn how to combine sentences. We practice further with word maps and free writing that were already discussed in the previous chapter. Then as in the title, we learn to write a paragraph about explanation and excuses. The chapter 8 is problems. We learn to express our personal feelings about problems and learn to order supporting sentences logically. We also learn to edit lists by calling ideas logically and writing about issues or difficulties. In chapter 9 is strange stories. In this chapter, we learn to use time expression, and we know to identify the main parts of a narrative. We practice ordering the events in a narrative logically and writing a paragraph about exciting or unusual experiences. In the chapter 10, differences, we learn how to use double lists to brainstorm ideas and start using comparison words such as whereas and however. Then we will know how to organize a comparison paragraph, compare situation or events differently. And as in the title, we learn to write a paragraph about the changes in our life or the differences in our life. The chapter 11, difficult decision. This chapter will practice writing about cause and effect relationship and using peer interview to brainstorm our ideas. We also learn how to begin paragraph with a question. Then in the end, we will write a paragraph about a difficult decision. Then we will finally come to the last chapter, chapter 12, fate or choice. In this chapter, we will write about hopes and plans for the future. We will review all brainstorming techniques or methods that we have learned in the previous chapter. Also, we will check transition expression and write a paragraph about the future. Okay guys, that's all about the explanation of the chapter. But before we go to the next part, I want to tell you about the last section of the book, which includes the additional materials that will help us in writing a paragraph. This part is quite interesting because it contains peer review forms and a grammar reference section. We also get to view more examples of the paragraph that we already learned from all of the chapters. Okay, maybe that's all. Then let's jump to another section, which is reviewing the textbook. First, who is the person who needs to read this book? As I said before, this book contains materials and exercises. The material of this book is neither too difficult nor too easy, and so does the exercises. They are sometimes tricky in one chapter and accessible in other chapters. So I think this book is suitable for every student who is looking for the next academic writing step, such as a college student's first semester, especially in English education, for the book's difficulty level, and also for senior high school students who want to learn the basic of writing a paragraph. But still, they have to learn about the basic of making a sentence first. Okay, then why is this book suitable for them? Because this book will sharpen their writing skill and knowledge about writing techniques and help them throughout their academic studies and beyond. They must need it, because especially when they want to enter college. And for a college student, I think they should master this book since they already have to do a lot of assignments, such as make a paper. Then I would like to tell you that there are several things that have greatly benefited from this book. First, this book uses easy to understand words and gives some pictures and illustration. This makes readers more interested and enjoy while learning this book. Second, this book gives additional examples and extra materials to help us do the exercises in every chapter. It shows us how a paragraph sample has since we brainstorm until the final paragraph draft. This is really important for our learning because from this example, we could check the material that related to the example, and we could see the real example so we can understand the material clearly and easily. We also got more information about most of the chapter, like how to use grammar in writing. There are also peer review forms for all units or chapters to review and recall what we have learned in each chapter. Okay guys, besides its benefits, this book still has a deficiency. Unfortunately, I thought not everyone could understand this book without a basic introduction about writing a sentence. Also, I find it very challenging to understand without a lecturer's help when we are still beginners when studying this book. This book also doesn't provide a final task and the answer key at the end of the book. In my opinion, the final task is needed in a workbook, while this book only has an exercise for each discussion. Exercise only could test one material, but the final test could test all materials so that they already understand all the material by the final test. Moreover, the answer key helps students who want self-taught learning. With the answer key, students could practice their writing skill and answer the question everywhere and anytime to review what they have done when they learn independently. Also, in this book, there is only an introduction to writing paragraph and then jumping straight to the material and doing the exercises, so I think it will be more perfect if there is a pre-writing before working on the assignment. And we come to the last part of the video. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I rate this book 4. This is good actually because I'm currently a 2-year student in English education. I have already learned the basics on writing. That's why I only need a little effort to understand what this book is trying to explain and how I will consider it in my writing. However, it's still challenging to do because arranging a sentence into a paragraph also requires our thought and many practices, of course. Most of the questions are still so complex that we will probably answer incorrectly, but it is not a big problem if our lecturer accompanies us. Well, okay guys, I think that's all for me. I hope you can enjoy this video, and I really hope that this video will be very useful for you. Thank you for your attention, and don't forget to stay happy, stay positive during this COVID-19 pandemic. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
If I like you, or if I like the attention, if I like that you see me when no one else does, if I like that it's easy to figure you out, if I can have you now, then easy is what I'm about. Do I want you, or do I want the commitment? Do I like that you need